Hello, hello. Welcome back to Beyond Awareness. This is the podcast where we close the gap between knowing what you want to do or what you quote unquote should be doing to actually doing it. And my whole belief system is that it is more than just problem solving and finding the next tool to actually do the thing. We actually uncover the belief beneath the thing that's keeping you in the same cycle and keeping you stuck not doing the thing. Because once you understand that belief and start to untangle it and truly understand it, question it, that's where it gets really interesting, really fun, but also things just become so much more clear. And you might not really want what you thought you wanted, like that thing that you wanted to do, you might not want that, or it just becomes so clear on how to actually do that. And today I wanted to actually share with you how I went from this knowing in my body that something was off and doing something about it. And it goes all the way back to 2020. That is when my son was born. He was born in October of 2020. And honestly, that year was great in some ways. Like my business was thriving. I had a ton of amazing clients and a team that I was running. My income was great. We had moved, my partner and I had moved from Maine, which I loved, to the Outer Banks, which wasn't so great just in terms of we didn't have any family or friends there. But then I had my son in October and everything just seemed like it was falling into place. But at the same time, especially after my son was born, it was just like something shifted. And I remember sitting on the couch one night right next to my partner and just feeling like something was inside of me that needed to come out. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't even know what I would say if I opened my mouth. I didn't feel like I was struggling or failing. I didn't feel like I was failing as a mom or anything like that. I was just kind of blank, like almost gone from my own life, like going through the motions. And so that was when I did look over to my husband at the time and I was like, I'm going to go journal. And I went and grabbed a random notebook and locked myself in our spare bedroom. And I did that because I wasn't sure what emotions were going to come out. I wasn't sure if I was going to cry, if I was going to scream in my pillow like my mom taught me when I was young. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I just wanted a safe space, really, to just write whatever wanted to come out and to have whatever emotions that were going to come up and out. And so that's what I did. And I remember writing at the top of the page, I feel like I'm dropping all of the balls. The mom ball, the wife ball, my healthy habits ball, the business ball, because I wasn't joining like all of the team calls. Like I didn't feel enough in any single area of my life at that point. And this was December 17th. And after I journaled about 3 pages, I kind of just flipped back through what I wrote. And for the first time, I realized I didn't fix anything. I wrote about really hard things. And I wrote about thoughts that I was having in my marriage and scary things of like, I really want to do this, but I fear this. And what about this? And really real things. But I didn't try to fix it. I didn't try to solve it or anything like that. I just validated it, really. And it felt so good. It felt so refreshing. And I think I did cry in the beginning just because I went into the locked room pretty emotional. But by the end, it felt like a relief. And I didn't try to change anything after that. I still didn't problem solve after that. It was just pure awareness of what was happening in my life and how I was feeling. And I truly think it was the first time that I wasn't trying to be this like positive Sam, the toxic positivity. It was when I put away that hat and thought it's okay to not be okay, which we hear all the time. But I don't know that we really let ourselves feel that. And so that was the opening for me of understanding what was happening inside and why I was feeling overwhelmed, why I was feeling not enough. And then from there, okay, well, what do I actually want? How do I want to feel? How do I want my business to feel? How do I want my relationship to feel? Everything slowly but surely started to open up. And so the awareness of my feelings was only the beginning. It was just like the door that opened up everything else that came from it and that came of my life right now, which is amazing in so many different aspects. And what changed that night wasn't this like massive shift. And then I got my divorce, and then I started a new business, and then I became this super present mom. That's not what it was like. What it was, the change was starting to do things differently in the sense of when I felt off and when I felt like, this feels different, I stopped performing okay. I stopped performing like, it's okay, I'm fine. No, I'm good. I started asking for things. Like I remember my husband had a job where he said that he needed to sleep separately all week long. And so I was the one sleeping with Griffin all week long as a newborn upstairs. And then he was getting perfect dreamy sleep downstairs. And I started asking for if I could sleep alone on the weekends. Could have done it differently, but that was like a huge moment for me. And then there was another day I'm remembering now that I woke up and I was just sad. Like for no reason. And maybe it was postpartum depression. I honestly don't think I really had that, but there was this one day where I had this deep ache, which I've never felt before. And it was only one day. And I let myself feel it and I let myself cry. And I opened up to my husband about it, which I had never done before. I had always tried to hide that or be okay, right? Like performing okay. And I stopped doing that. That night was when I stopped, pulling a blind over everybody else's eyes as to how I was feeling. And when I did that, the overwhelm that I was feeling in all areas of my life didn't disappear. And I always tell my clients now, the goal is not to ever not feel overwhelmed or not feel stressed, not feel anxiety. The goal is to have a process to work through it and work through it quickly. So that night too, it's not like overwhelm disappeared, but it had somewhere to go that wasn't my body. So for you, if you can relate to any aspect of this, maybe the overwhelm, or maybe just feeling like your life from the outside is great, but on the inside, it's like, you're feeling like there's something there. You might not know what it is, or maybe you know exactly what it is. Maybe you have this desire to go for more, or you feel like you should want to go for more, but you don't really want to, whatever it is. I invite you to just stop performing this feeling and facade of being okay, of having it all together, really. Stop performing, having it all together long enough to be honest with yourself. And maybe for you, it's not writing. Maybe for you it is. Maybe you can just go and journal, lock yourself in a room. But also it could just be saying it out loud in the car to yourself or in a voice note or telling a friend, telling someone that you trust the real answer when they ask how you are, or just asking yourself, what do I really want? Or if that feels too big, how do I really want my day today to feel or to be? How do I really want to be treated? How would I love my clients to feel about me? How would I love to show up to my client meetings? So kind of like pick apart your day and ask, especially if there's an area that you don't love, dissect that and start asking questions. I love asking questions. If you want to dive into it with me, feel free. Links in the show notes to work with me. But the more honest you can be with yourself, the better your life will be. Full disclosure, I'm still working on this. I just got a book about boundaries, actually, and I'm realizing and knew this about myself. I'm still not super honest. I'm working on being more vocal about my needs, but I've gotten so much better And it all stemmed from this night that I got really honest about how I was feeling and what was happening and didn't immediately jump to problem solving. So that is a little bit about my story and how I got started. And I hope that it inspires you if you are in a similar space, knowing that honesty and facing the hard feelings and hard situations that you might currently be going through truly is the first step to coming out on the other side. Thank you for tuning in this week, and I will see you on Thursday for a strategic journaling episode. See you then. Thanks for listening to Beyond Awareness, the podcast where we close the gap between knowing and doing. If you're ready to heal what's holding you back from success, start with my free Calm Mind Blueprint at www.samanthapenkoff.com/calm-mind. It's a 5-day strategic journaling practice with prompts and voice guidance from me. And if you want to go deeper, book a 90-minute breakthrough intensive. Links for both are in the show notes. And if you know someone who would benefit from this episode, I would be so grateful if you shared it with them so that they can make decisions from clarity instead of drowning in overwhelm. I will see you next time.